Good morning, everybody. This is Jay Spruill, Movies, Music, Sports, and Life. I'm not going to waste any time, man. I'm going to get right into this. I'm not going to pull any punches. This is a complete spoiler review. I don't think you can really, just in my opinion, Daredevil is not one of those shows that you can talk about and try to tiptoe around things. It's too complex. Daredevil is just too in your face to try to do a recap or a review, and you're just talking about the set pieces and the costume design and stuff like that. No, it's too official for that. So I know it's been a long time since y'all saw me, but I am gonna make it my business to recap all of these shows. I'm gonna do episode 1 and 2 together, simply because I gotta be at work in a little while, and also because of the contrast between episode 1 and 2. But also look out for this week. I definitely will be recapping the first episode of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and I'm very interested to see where they left us off with that. Okay, so immediately, now a lot of people would tell you, I hate to be the guy that I told you so, and that's what it's gonna feel like I'm doing. But I forget the tall young lady's name, tall with the long legs, blonde, the legal assistant. You're never gonna forget Froggy, but Froggy was chubbier. His hair was blonde and it was long. Now he's a little bit slim, got the brown hair, and the brown hair is trimmed up and cut real nice. Immediately, when they're walking and laughing together, you obviously know Murdoch isn't gonna get killed because he's the main character of the show. But in the comments, if there's somebody else besides me that knew this, didn't you know that 2 of the 3 were gonna die? That either the lady friend or Froggy, or just the lady friend or Froggy. I knew one of them was gonna die because we come from all this chaos from season 3, and then we just see them in New York just walking together, smiling and laughing, and the back of my mind was saying it's gonna be so unfair that one of them is about to lose their life in the first 5 minutes, 6-7 minutes of the show. And sure enough, wham! So they gave you a little precursor that something was about to happen, because Froggy's friend Benny, it sounded like he got beat up over the phone, and somebody was asking, where is Murdoch? So you knew it was somebody. Now, I will admit, I didn't think Bullseye right away, because you got to admit, Daredevil has been off air for a long time, so it probably took all of our brains a little while just to catch back up and be like, oh yeah, Bullseye is a part of the show. But wham, you just see Froggy get hit, and ironically, Murdoch went to change clothes and get his suit before it happened. And it feels like it had been a long time since he had put on that suit. And when Murdoch is asking him, how come you didn't tell me about this earlier? He says, I thought it might bring you back. So it seems like the friends are making a concerted effort for him not to become Daredevil again. And he was fearful to telling him about what was going on with having back out here on the streets. So immediately they start fighting, and it's epic. He swings in almost like Spider-Man and just takes Bullseye through the window, and they're inside that pub and they scrap. And they don't always make it clear that Murdoch is not a metahuman, but at this point it's pretty obvious that he's just not a blind lawyer. Like, he got 5 knives in his back, fam. It's like he looking like a stegosaurus or a porcupine at this point. And you not bleeding out, like you not really slowing down. It's like crazy, but you know, not to nitpick over that. He's fighting Bullseye all the way to the top of the roof. And once again, not to act like I'm some know-it-all, but I think some of y'all would agree with me. When he was using his supersonic hearing and saw that they were compressing his chest and trying to give him CPR, y'all knew just like I knew. As he was beating Bullseye up and he had him dead to rights, and Bullseye was so worn out from getting his butt kicked that he couldn't fight back. Y'all knew that as soon as Daredevil heard that Froggy died, that he was going to kill Bullseye. I just didn't know how he was going to do it. Man, he threw that man off that roof like it was nothing. And I couldn't believe it. And his female friend seemed like she couldn't believe it because, once again, Superman snapped somebody's neck on Man of Steel. The Dark Knight, Batman killed a lot of people, and they didn't even really seem to address it. But it kind of goes against the code. Superheroes aren't supposed to kill. And what made it even more curious, and maybe somebody in the comments can tell me, is what did they inject Bullseye with? Because excuse me, Bullseye survived, and that was wild. So this is all in the introduction. So that's one of the best introductions. And then they fast forward to 1 year later, and you wonder, has Murdoch not been doing Daredevil for this 1 year later after this happened? And he hears on the news that Wilson Fisk is running for mayor. And it like sends like a chill up his spine, because I think he knows already that Wilson is going to win. So he knows that he's going to have to deal with this one way or the other almost immediately. And I think also the one thing I thought about, I was going to save this for the end of episode 1. I'm going to just say it now. Episode 1 of Daredevil Born Again is far better than Captain America 4, Ant-Man 3, Thor Part 4, and Doctor Strange Part 2. That's 4 Marvel movies that is built up into sequels that I think were terrible. I guess I can add Captain Marvel 2 to that too. All of those movies are terrible. And you're telling me in a TV episode that's 1 hour long, I get something Marvel that blows those 5 movies out of the water. So it just makes you question, what are y'all really doing at Marvel? Maybe y'all need to sit down with the people who do Daredevil and figure out how you can make films that connect to us and are smartly written with good character development. Okay, so I digress. I didn't mean to take y'all on that, but I know some of y'all are feeling me on that. So Vanessa Fisk is in a meeting with the 5 families. And you know, that's a mafioso New York thing. And she was enforcing to them and imploring them that Hell's Kitchen doesn't get taxed. Hell's Kitchen doesn't do this or that. It's off limits. So that's kind of a nod to the whole background of Daredevil. It's always been depicted in the Hell's Kitchen area of New York. And it's kind of a not so subtle reminder I'm giving you a courtesy by telling you don't move in on Hell's Kitchen, but don't make me hurt you or eliminate you because you think I'm playing about it. And then you just see the back of his bald head and you see everybody just stand up and dismiss themselves without him saying a word. And then you just hear that growly voice, Vanessa. And the one thing I like about Vincent D'Onofrio and the way that he portrays Wilson Fisk is he's this big, strong man, even though he's lost a lot of weight compared to how big he used to be. Big, strong man, but he just got such a weakness for Vanessa. It's just like he is just whipped. Like he that's his weakness. He loves that woman so much. And he's kind of pleading for her to join him going straight and leaving the mafia stuff alone. And y'all probably just like me saw instantly she was not with that. Like, she's like, this is not what I signed up for. Even though she didn't say it, her body language said it, that she wouldn't be happy in a straight lifestyle of not being involved in crime anymore. One thing, he told her that he has the 2,500 signatures that he needed to become mayor, to run for mayor. And the one thing I don't think y'all caught is that his new employee, the new guy, he said, where did you find him? They told him he was canvassing and he got 2,000 signatures. And Kingpin didn't seem really happy about that. But if you know how people of his ilk and people at that level think, they don't like to be indebted to anybody. So he certainly didn't really show him any respect or tribute, because it's, in their macho world, it's considered weakness. But I also think he was smart enough to realize I have to keep my eye on him, because how was he able to do that? Almost to the point of maybe he's even questioning if he even did it by legitimate means. You know, he's such a great actor that you can almost hear what he's thinking even when he's not talking. So then we see Daredevil and him eat dinner together, and most of this dialogue we saw in the trailers. So Fisk is playing the kind of the mental gymnastics and mind games with him, basically the same way Joker used to tell Batman that you really know better than me. You're a violent semi-criminal yourself. Because when you use the word vigilante, technically you're a criminal because you're fighting crime without a license to fight crime. Daredevil kind of held his own, kind of made sure not to blow up or get too mad. He insisted that he did not order his friend to be killed. And something about Kingpin saying that made me believe him. So I guess that brings up another question is, A, who authorized Bullseye to do that? And B, how did he survive his neck snapping from getting thrown off the top of a building in New York City? Something else. I can't remember if his name was Anthony or Gregory, but Wilson Fisk goes, Vanessa, I know about Anthony. And her only 4 words back was, do not kill him. And then he's like, I'm not that man anymore. You know, so I kind of believe him on that too. Once again, it's probably just because he's a very good actor. But also because, like you said, we know that that's his weakness. We know he loves Vanessa. So he hates to do anything that upsets her. And then at the end of it, I guess when they were giving him an interview after he won the mayor, he says, "I love New York." And it was real weird how he said that, because he almost said it like it was a question, like he wasn't sure if he believed it. So episode 2 starts. His top assistant to the mayor, to let him know that your wife is a problem, because she really doesn't seem like she's on board with you being the mayor. And, if you having this criminal past, that could be a problem. And he said, just give me some time with her. And he didn't flat out say that we going to marriage counseling, but that's what he was kind of implying. When he gave his acceptance speech, he kind of took a crap on the Punisher, Spider-Man, and the Daredevil. We can't have guys with crosses, skull and crossbones on their chest. We can't have guys with spider suits on, and we can't have a vigilante with devil horns on a mask. And there was a Latino guy that accidentally killed a cop, but the cops were beating somebody up and that person got away. And at first I thought it was entrapment, that they were doing it just to be able to stop vigilantes. But the more I think logically, that's kind of far-fetched. I think that they were really just roughing somebody up because they're dirty cops, and he probably owed them money or something. And they ended up taking him in, and he ends up being White Tiger. Now, I'll admit I'm not that into the comic books to tell y'all exactly who White Tiger is, but I know some of y'all probably went crazy when y'all saw the costume and he admitted that he was White Tiger. An ironic flip is that Murdoch's new girlfriend he's dating ends up being a marriage counselor for Wilson Fisk and Vanessa, and we'll see how that turns out. But then there's a twist, because Murdoch is very upset that White Tiger did not tell him he's White Tiger. How am I supposed to defend you? And the guy who he saved, the cop that survived and another dirty cop were coming to his apartment to kill him. And Daredevil got him to safety. And they were really whooping his butt, because since they said you're the lawyer, they were whooping his butt because he really didn't want to show off his powers, because then they probably gonna go to the courtroom and say, hey, they might even put two and two together. I think this guy is Daredevil because we had guns, we had this, and he kicked our butts. But where they messed up is they basically said we gotta kill him. And one guy was hesitant, and the other one said, man, I'll do it. And then it was over. Why did he say that? So Daredevil ends up taking out both of them, and he just screams, "Ah!" because he realized what a messed up situation he's in now. So, man, excellent first 2 episodes. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I tried to keep it under 20 minutes, and we'll be back for episode 3 whenever they decide to drop it.